Good afternoon. I have with me Minister Thompson. We have quite a few things to discuss here, so we'll get started right away and we'll go right on to Bloyce.
Thank you, Minister Myers. I want to begin by thanking our farmers, farm workers, suppliers, and of course farm families. You are critical to our security of Canada's food supply. Agriculture is an essential service and the backbone of our economy. The health of our community depends on the ready access to high quality, healthy, safe food. Our public health protocols recognize that food production and distribution have to continue with little disruption as possible. Thankfully, for Islanders, rely on a well-run agriculture industry that is forward-looking and responsible. I want to assure you that government is here to work with our farmers as we go through these unique challenges. We will also be here to help agriculture tackle tomorrow's challenges and embrace new opportunities. Our programs and services are still available. Program staff development officers continue to support clients across the island by email or by phone. As we respect public health measures issued by Dr. Morrison, my department and I continue to service the important sector. On top of our usual supports and programs, our department is proactively looking at new measures to support industry. Today, I am pleased to announce the COVID Strategic Fund for Agriculture. This new $750,000 initiative includes funding under the Canada Agriculture Partnership to help our community, commodity groups, and our smaller processors adapt to new conditions resulting from COVID-19. That could mean changes in a workplace to accommodate physical distancing, doing more business online, offering COVID-related training, or adapting to quickly changing markets. We want to help our industry meet these changes. We know one of the concerns is around labor challenges. This is something our industry faces year after year. One item under the development now is enhancing the farm student bursary. This will increase money paid by the provincial government to students who work in agriculture this year. These bursaries will be topped off on the wages by employers. I hope this will be an incentive to help both our farm community and our high school and post-secondary students who may be looking for a seasonal job. There will also be job matching services that will help pair job seekers and farmers who are seeking workers for the 2020 season. I recognize the current situation and the uncertain time for farmers. In order to help some of the pressures you may be facing, we are enhancing the Farmers Talk. This is a place where farmers and farm workers and their families can turn to advice and counseling from people who understand agriculture industry. Over the next week or so, we'll be reviewing all the programs to ensure that they meet the pressing needs of industry so that we have the capacity to deliver them at the highest standard. Intake dates for our non-business risk management programs will be delayed for a short period of time as we prepare to deliver our programs in a new, innovative ways. Finally, we can encourage farmers to enroll in our business risk management programs. We offer our farmers such as Agri-Insurance, Agri-Invest, and Agri-Stability. These programs help farms manage significant risk that threatens the viability of their farm and beyond their capacity to manage. The important thing here is that agriculture remains the pillar of Prince Edward Island's economy and the vital source of employment and exports. In a lot of ways, farming has built Prince Edward Island. Our province will stand with our farm families in these days ahead. I would also like to take the opportunity to speak on an initiative we have announced yesterday in partnership with some local producers. Under the Island Producers Helping Islanders Initiative, Amalgamated Dairies Limited, ADL, the P.E.I. Potato Board, and the provincial government will be handing out free care packages to islanders in need this Saturday. The packages will include local ADL products and milk and cheese and a 10-pound bag of potatoes. Drive-through pickup will be set up at the following locations this Saturday from 10 a.m. until 3 p.m. while supplies last. Summerside, the Credit Union parking lot. Charlottetown, the P.E.I. Government Complex parking lot on Terry Fox Drive. To support physical distancing, islanders are asked to remain in their vehicles while volunteers place the care packages in their trunk. This initiative is intended to help islanders and families in need. However, it is open to everyone. Through this initiative, we are seeing producers come together to support islanders in need, despite facing their own sector challenges during this pandemic. I could not be more proud to be a part of this community. Farmers are initiative. Farmers are hardworking, resilient people. They are going to get the crop in the ground. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Minister Thompson. So we'll move on to some reporting back from the Operations Committee. The trucking industry and truck drivers are providing an important essential service during these challenging and uncertain times, ensuring the uninterrupted movement of goods like groceries and other essential supplies to islanders and to Canadians alike. We know that they are concerned about their own health and safety while traveling across provincial and international borders. They are also concerned for the health and safety of their loved ones when they returned home. With this in mind, we have been working closely with the P.E.I. Trucking Sector Council to find a solution for our truck drivers who are without a place to self-isolate. As a result of those conversations, we are announcing a new initiative to support them in their efforts. Working with the Rod Royalty Inn and Suites, we have made rooms available for truck drivers so they can practice self-isolation between trips. A significantly reduced fee of $20 per night will be billed directly to the driver's company with no upfront cost to the drivers whatsoever. More specifically, the initiative will work as follows. Truckers with a valid Class 1 license or equivalent from other jurisdictions can present their IDs at the Rod Royalty front desk to check in. They will collect the driver's information and their company if they're not owner-operated. There will be no housekeeping or restaurant services available. However, the rooms will be turned over once a week as drivers vacate. Parking is available on-site at Calvary Temple across the street, the Plaza Corp parking lot behind Rod Royalty, and at Walmart. Drivers can call 902-892-2253 for booking information, parking directions, and availability. An update from our non-essential travel. So my department continues to work closely with the Chief Public Health Office to maintain enhanced enforcement and non-essential travel into our province. Since we began screening travelers into our province via the Federation Bridge last week, we have asked 21 individuals to turn around as their travel to our province was deemed non-essential based on the guidelines of our Chief Public Health Office. These 21 individuals arrived in 15 separate vehicles. Traffic screening will continue at the Confederation Bridge, and we remind all islanders that those traveling should only do so if it is essential. A decision has been made to delay the start of the provincial recreational fishing season. This afternoon, we were granted a variance from the Department of Fisheries and Oceans to delay the season until June 1st. Friendly reminder that no one should be out there fishing or gassing up their boats or getting ready to go to their camps. As Dr. Morrison has said, how well we do at physical distancing and staying home as much as possible over the coming weeks will have an impact on the health and lives of islanders in the months to come. COVID-19 has not changed enforcement activity by conservation officers. Fishing out of season was illegal before the pandemic and will be after the pandemic too. As of April 9th, there have been 9 illegal fishing charges on Prince Edward Island. We know that islanders are passionate about fishing, but we ask that you please continue to follow the advice of the Chief Public Health Officer, stay home as much as possible, and practice physical distancing if you have to go out for essentials. With spring upon us, we appreciate islanders spending time cleaning up their yards. Backyard burning is not an essential activity, and government has placed an indefinite moratorium on burning during this pandemic. We made the decision with safety of the essential service providers, such as first responders, as there will certainly be calls that they need to respond to, putting firefighters in a position where they cannot maintain proper social distancing. We do not want to place any undue pressure on our essential services during this time. We ask that Islanders work with us to keep everyone safe. And finally, at a time when we're seeing unemployment rates of up to 21%, we hope that Islanders will step up to fill the labor voids within our farming and fishing industries. However, we do understand that some of these farms and fish processors have already secured their labor force for the upcoming season through the temporary foreign worker program. In regards to temporary foreign workers, these programs are administered and regulated federally. We have done everything in our power to ask the federal government to work collaboratively with us on this program during these unprecedented times to ensure the safety and well-being of our province. However, it has become abundantly clear that there isn't any appetite to do that at this time, and the workers for the 2020 season have already been secured. For that reason, we will be putting strict measures in place to ensure the safety of all Islanders. For all foreign workers who are scheduled to arrive, the following will be required. Any temporary foreign worker will be required to quarantine at a central location that has been approved by the Chief Public Health Office. Security and public health officials will be ensuring adherence to all CPHO orders and requirements that Dr. Morrison has already issued. Strict guidelines have been developed and approved by the Chief Public Health Office and have been circulated to all employers as of this afternoon. Our government's priority has always been the safety and well-being of Islanders. The measures that we have put in place for temporary foreign workers are an example of our continued commitment to this priority. So that's it with the updates, and we'll move to questions from the media.
Nicola McLeod, CBC. Good afternoon, everyone. For Minister Myers, we're hearing this afternoon there's been long lines at some of the liquor stores with the long weekend coming up. Have there been any changes to the liquor store spending limits or hours or any other services associated with the liquor stores?
I'm not sure on the spending limit, but I know there's a discussion being had right now on how to best alleviate that. An extension of the hours is probably what will be the most appropriate measure. And I think they're looking at having that in place at least for Saturday, if not in place as early as today. But when I came down here, everything wasn't in place, so we're just waiting for a final announcement on that.
Great. And a follow-up to that, have you heard anything from liquor store employees who feel unsafe with the crowds at locations like Oak Tree? And do you have enough staff to meet the current demand?
I haven't heard anything from any of the staff, to be honest with you. I did drive by there today because I had heard there was long lineups, and in fact there is. They go down both Pond Street and Summer Street. As far as I could tell, there was social distancing was being maintained on both of those places. There was security in place. There's only so many people allowed in the store at a time. Measures have been put in place to ensure the safety of all staff. And I know there's a number of P.E.I. LCC locations that are not opened at this point, so I suspect the Liquor Commission itself has plenty of staff to take care of the situation that's in place right now.
Travis Kingdon, CBC. Travis Kingdon, CBC.
Hi, this question is for Minister Myers. With some of the liquor stores being reopened, as you mentioned, why not reopen the cannabis stores as well?
Well, at this point, I know there's been a lot of discussion about that. There is an option to buy online and have it delivered to your door, and that's the message that has been sent back over and over again. And at this point, I think government's comfortable with that. And if anything were to change in that, we would certainly be quick to come down and announce that.
Mm-hmm. And we've heard that, online is taking several days to deliver, and some people don't even have internet to order online. Is there any plans? I mean, you said you're talking about it, but maybe in parts of the rural province where, they don't have internet to reopen the cannabis stores?
At this point, there's no further discussion than what I've already mentioned. The discussion has been around, there's been a few requests from the public. It hasn't been a high-level discussion by any stretch of the imagination. We're doing the best that we can do to keep our essential services running and keep our own staff safe and at this point, there's no changes to the cannabis model.
Stu Neepy, The Guardian.
Hi, good afternoon. I suppose this question would be for Minister Myers, although I guess it could be for Minister Thompson, about the temporary foreign worker provisions. So I guess you were talking about a central location for quarantining these workers. Can you talk a little bit more about that? Like, would that be sort of a location that is set up by the CPHO, or would it be by employers? Who does the sanitation? Is there testing of these workers, meals provided, like that kind of stuff?
Yeah, so basically it would be set up centrally, but it would be under the guidance of the CPHO. At this point, it's going to be done through the Operations Committee, which I chair. There will be proper security in place. There will be meals provided, that kind of thing. So the plan is well in hand now, and first and foremost is the public safety. And we want to make sure that all islanders are safe through this whole temporary foreign workers coming in. And I think it's important that we, as a body, know where the location where the temporary foreign workers are doing their 14 days, so we can best check up that all the measures are being followed.
Okay, and I guess just as a follow-up, I mean, will they be responsible for sort of buying their own meals or supplies, or is it sort of going to be like a dorm room style sort of setup? Like, what would it look like for that sort of thing?
Yeah, I guess I'd picture more of a dorm room style of setup. We'll be providing everything that's necessary, though I don't anticipate that we'll be paying for it. I fully expect that the employers who are taking them in are going to be tasked with coming up with the costs associated with it. Our part of it is the safety of Islanders part of it, so we're taking that very seriously. But we're certainly not going to put somebody in a room and not feed them, so they'll be well cared for during that period of time. But so the rest of Islanders will be safe during that period of time as well.
Okay, thank you.
Rachel, The Graphic. Rachel, The Graphic. Carrie Wynn, Ocean 100.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. I guess my first question is for Minister Thompson. Just in regards to the local producer initiative that's happening on Saturday at Credit Union Place in Summerside and in Charlottetown in the government parking area there, has there been any provisions, or have you thought about some suggestions for people that perhaps maybe are in very desperate need, but they don't have a vehicle or transportation to get there to pick up some of those items that have been generously donated?
Yes, thank you, Carrie, for that question. And yes, we have thought about that, and this came to us very quickly. This was we were approached by ADL, who had excess commodity that they had to do something with, and they didn't want to destroy good products. So we're working with them, and we contacted the Potato Board, who has excess product right now too. So for this time, it's set up this way, but we are working on other initiatives to help deliver that in different ways. So this is the first time we're going to do this, and hopefully we'll be able to do it again and to get it to the hands of the most needy. But of course, the food banks are being supplied as well by the Potato Board and ADL, and the dairy farmers of P.E.I. are, they're stepping up to donate products. So if you can't get it here, the food banks will be well stocked on these products as well.
Excellent, thanks. And can you also explain just how the enhancing of the farm student bursary will work?
After your work term is up, you will receive the bursary at the end of your work term to put towards your education.
But did you say there are wages topped up?
And yeah, it's a wage top up at the end of your work term. Yeah.
Oh, okay, thanks. Thanks for clarifying that.
Everyone have a good Easter weekend and stay safe and away from each other the best you can.